Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome. We're having a comic highlight here tonight. We have some special guests with us, including the DIAZ brothers. Say hello, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Yes, the minds behind Magic Cop. We have Mark POULTON with us. How's it going,
hey guys?
buddy?
Good.
And we have that umbrella guy here to usher out his book.
Yeah, bye there, I suppose.
And of course, we have Lola with us. Say hello.
Hello.
All right. So, yeah, Brandon and Phil, pretty familiar with you guys by now. How you been?
Yeah, good. Yeah, we've been around a little bit, but yeah, busy. I've been lettering my book. We have the whole first chapter is done now, so it's all colored and lettered. Brandon is more than halfway done with the interiors on chapter 2. So we're trucking along, and it's been a tiring past 2.5 months, but it's fun.
Yeah. You relieved to be in demand?
Yes, yeah, definitely so. But it's like, we're in demand, and we still want to keep on the grind for promoting and stuff, and hanging out with our buddies the friends we've made along the way. So doing streams like this, it's awesome to still be out there promoting. So
yeah, of course, we're always happy to have you guys.
Thanks.
So Mark, you're a new face, buddy. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm the quiet member of Graveyard Shift. I've been writing comics since 2006. Got my start doing my own indie series, Coney Waves. Did some stuff at Image Comics with Rob Liefeld. Worked with Rob at DC on Hawkman, and all that while, John and we were working on Graveyard Shift. And finally, the opportunity came where we could release it last year. And ever since then, my career changed drastically. I don't have to work for other publishers. I can work for myself now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Dream, man. That's awesome. That's the way to do it.
Do you like it better than working for one of the big two, or?
Absolutely, yeah. I don't know if anyone follows Rob Liefeld's Twitter, but he was talking about just like the pettiness at DC Comics. When we were doing Hawkman, he had a major falling out, and he just quit overnight. And I got caught in the middle of it, and you just saw how petty the big two are. So yeah, I'm thankful to to work with John and myself doing my own stuff. Yeah.
That's really awesome. So what made you, have you had this idea in mind for a while with Seadog and Codename Killswitch?
So when the last Graveyard Shift campaign was going on, my son Chase, who I've worked with before, we did the book Pizza Tree, which won some Best Kids Graphic Novel awards. It's actually being developed as a movie now. But he got really wrapped up in the Graveyard Shift campaign. He was so excited about it. And he was like, Dad, I want to do something cool. I don't want to do kiddie books anymore. And I was like, yeah, man, we can do whatever you want. And we had this idea for Seadog.
How old is he?
So happened while we were... he is 9 years old.
That's cool.
So
awesome.
When he was... So as we were developing Seadog... my buddy Clint hit me up. I had known him for years. We both used to work for Arcana Studio. And he was like, hey, would you have any interest in working together? I was like, yeah, I'm actually looking for an artist for this idea my son and I have. But I didn't know what he would think about working with me and my son. But he was all for it. And he was like, hey, I have some of these characters. I know you like the 90s stuff. Maybe we could incorporate them. And that's how it became Seadog and Codename Killswitch. It just, once we started developing the story, the two groups of characters just meshed perfectly together. And that's one of the things I love. I love working with an artist who brings a lot to the table, and it becomes a true collaboration. So working on this has been awesome.
That's really cool. That's actually one of the questions I was going to ask you is how did you come to Seadog and Codename Killswitch?
Yeah, so yeah, it's our two characters coming together in one book.
So is this a kid-friendly book? Then?
I would say it's kid friendly, but I would say all ages is kind of like has a negative connotation to it because people think it's kiddie. But
Right.
the books I grew up with, I would say they were all ages, but they dealt with adult stuff, but they were, I don't know, they were appropriate, and that's how I feel Seadog is. The women are sexy, but I don't think that's a problem.
No.
Not busting out too much.
Yeah.
Just enough.
Cool. So you want to give us kind of an overview of the characters and what they're up to?
Sure. So Codename Killswitch is a government task force, and when a young metahuman is abducted by a group of traffickers, they try to recruit Seadog, who's the world's greatest hero, to join them to track down the abducted metahuman. But he's kind of pompous. He's more of he calls himself a lone wolf, even though he's a dog. But he eventually gives in when his owner, his master, Peter, is abducted along with the girl, and he joins forces with him. But he assumes he's the leader, and he kind of unbeknownst to Codename Killswitch, he takes over the team and makes himself leader. So there's they butt heads, but it leads for a lot of fun action.
Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic having a fully assembled team and just kind of an outsider coming in. Naturally, yeah, if he's like one of the most renowned superheroes, yeah, obviously he's going to assume his position as leader.
Yeah, that art looks so cool.
Yeah, thank you. Clint's awesome. He brings everything I love. I love the 90s style. He's channeling a little Jim Lee, little Rob Liefeld there. I really love it. And the colors are awesome. They're by Andrew Dahlhaus, who's doing Bloodshot for Valiant right now, which is one of the most beautiful books out on the shelves.
Yeah, I like these little bios here that you put together.
Those are some sexy ladies, though. I don't know, you're downplaying those ladies.
Pretty hot, yeah.
We see back in the corner the red and yellow guy, Crotch Rocket. He seems to be a fan favorite.
Well, I think the name did that for you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So what kind of powers are we looking at with these folks? Mark, can you hear me?
Yeah, this was Clint's idea. I really like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's must be. I've never written like a team book before. And I mean, you did Graveyard Shift. How does that compare to writing like a single character book? If you could hear us, it's bugging out a little bit. No, Mark.
Oh, Mark, you're muted, buddy.
Yeah, I think he's having some issues.
Okay.
I was looking up each project real quick. Well, I went quiet for a minute. I was trying to look everything,
Awesome.
familiarize myself. I like the Seadog design there, actually.
Yeah, all those character designs are really cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to know more about Seadog, actually. As he's kind of an aquatic canine.
I just when I picture the name, I was thinking like Seadog, like something with a giant gold chain, and he's like, "No, I'm a Seadog." But it's cool though. And actually, it fits that Graveyard Shift kind of modality. I really, the design of characters and stuff. I think it's it's good. It works for the audience too, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think that anchor around his neck there is a little bit of bling.
There you go. That's for sure.
The Flavor Flav of this.
You gotta remind me he's muted
Flavor Flav.
because he may not realize he's muted.
Oh yeah, Mark. Oh,
I
we
think his
dropped out.
connection is having a hard time.
I'll tell you what, for the time being, guys, why don't we slide on over to Magic Cop? You guys can
All right.
throw us the pitch on that.
Cool.
Once again.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So Magic Cop. Well, I'll just give you kind of like the elevator pitch. The story is about Iggy Cromwell. He's the newest Magic Cop to Ambrosia City. And so to be a Magic Cop, it's kind of a lineage thing. So the wand is passed down from generation to generation. He is straight off the graduation stage and is promoted directly to detective. So he has to work his first case and learn to work with his new Wolfman partner who's on the verge of retirement as they investigate the murder of a mermaid prostitute. And it's a clash of Miami Vice and Halloween Town. Along the way, they find that there's many more skeletons in the city's closet than just these murders. And I always say the tagline is fast cars, hot babes, and even hotter crime. The only detective with the spells to stop it is Magic Cop.
Oh yeah, yeah. You got
I'm in
that
love
down.
with y'all sold me at Miami Vice because I was like, this
Hell
has got to be.
Yeah, it actually, the idea was originally for a side-scrolling beat 'em up arcade game because my brother and I work in the arcade industry on a productions team, and we kind of built this world and different levels and bosses, and the four main characters are based on the archetypes from like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or Bad Dudes, Streets of Rage, stuff like that.
Bad
And
Dudes was my jam.
yeah, man, those games were awesome. And Brandon comes from a graphic art background, and I love writing, and we used to write and create comic books like 7 years ago. And so when it didn't get greenlit, we had all this backstory that I had written up. We're like, we should turn this into a graphic novel, man. We have a bunch of villains that we could play through for years of books. And this world that we built is really rad. And 80s was coming back right around 2 years ago again, so we're like, we got to put this out.
Yeah, for sure. And I know every time you bring this up, somebody mentions they want to see the Magic Cop video game.
Yeah, we would love to do that in the future. And I think this is like kind of like the proof of concept. Also, you have these stories, and I think it's even a better way to tell the story because we're able to go more in depth with the characters and have you kind of like fall for these characters and really root for them. And then later on, if we plan to do the game, it would just be that much better.
Yeah, man.
I gotta ask, how is it working with your brother on this?
It's fun. I mean, most of the things I work on are with him. We work together on our day jobs, and we've been creating comic characters for years together. And actually working with him off of the script that I wrote is really cool at times because he adds some stuff, but sometimes it could be frustrating because he'll add some stuff. But I think that's the dynamic that we're learning to work through, and I think it works well right now. Yeah.
I think that the flexibility for myself as the artist on here, because it's kind of Phil and my project, so like I have a little bit more comfort in throwing in those extra things than, let's say, like if Phil was working with a third party artist, and I can like feel confident in changing up a camera angle here or something like that, or if I think something is going to look cool here, I can do that with confidence and then argue my way into being like, this is why it should be like this. Because, it's both of our thing instead of just a single person's.
So are you both drawing it and coloring it, or is one drawing it, one coloring it, one writing it?
Yeah, Phil's the writer, and I do the interior art and then the chapter covers. Then we have some other artists like Pablo Romero and Elliot Fernandez did the cover art and then the art for the supplemental Ashcan, respectively.
And then we have a colorist also.
Oh yeah,
Who's
I know
awesome.
the color.
Eugene.
That's awesome. I'm going to pop over here to the chat real quick and say hello. James Hayes was here early, as always, posting those links. We appreciate you, brother. Arch City Comics joined us early. I think he might have popped out, though. He said he was being dragged in 5 different directions.
Pablo the one that's working on the Cyborg USA, or
Yeah. So he's doing the interiors for that.
Right.
Those first 2 issues, and yeah, we have him on our main cover. He's awesome. Like when I saw his art style, I'm like, Brandon, we got to get this guy to do something because
so
it's
I know
totally
he's got a
80s.
lot of black lately for like some of his art.
Yeah, he's the guy that did this Ms. Marvel pinups and Rose Tico, making the characters a little bit more digestible.
And some folks freaked out about it because he had some curves in there. And...
Yep. Which is the devil. Curves don't exist on women. So.
No, never.
Of course not.
Yeah, he's awesome. Great guy to work with. We actually, if we get to some of our later stretch goals, definitely want to work with him again on some trading cards. I think that would be really cool.
I think that when Phil found him and we used him for the cover, when we got the cover back, because he's so phenomenally fast, it was just a couple of days, and it really solidified the idea of having to make the comic because the cover was so cool. Like, my art is what it is, and at the time we were doing the preview issue to see like the concepts and stuff, and Phil really wanted to get Pablo to do a piece for us because the style is just so perfect. And I was a little bit apprehensive because it was so early on in the project, but when he did get that piece and we saw it, it was just kind of like, wow, we really have to roll ahead and make sure that this gets done because it looks so cool here that we just can't abandon this thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, you guys have come a long way.
Yeah, thanks. There's a little blockheads guy. So every backer that backs us is going to get one of these blockheads. Either if you back at a physical tier, you'll actually get the sheet of paper you can put together, or you'll be sent a PDF with the digital copy as well. So you can print out and put this guy together.
Oh, I like the little lightning bolt effect there.
Yeah, he did a great job designing that. It's so cool. I always tell creators, if you are putting a campaign on Indiegogo, if you guys are Comicsgate, definitely hit up the guys at Blockheads, see if they will, make one of your characters. And they always help promote. You can put it on your campaign. It's great. It's really, really cool.
Kind of like a fun little Funko Pop, but not a Funko Pop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
You guys are still rolling with the Door Kickers promo?
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard, Door Kickers I think it's in demand still, but we kind of, met Scott from Door Kickers and liked his idea for his book, and we're like, hey, I contacted Scott, I'm like, we should get his boy Ted, who's always doing fan art for him, commissioned him to do a crossover piece. So if you had backed both of the books at a physical tier, you'll be sent this little print for free when you get your Magic Cop book.
Excellent.
Yeah, Ted rocked that out. He did all traditional art, and then our boy Eugene colored it also. It's really, really badass.
Yeah, that came out nice. Mark, how you doing, buddy? You okay?
I think so. I switched to my phone.
Okay.
Maybe better.
Yeah.
You can at least move around now.
Yeah.
All right. So if anybody has not yet backed Magic Cop, run on over, check it out. James Hayes has the links in the chat there. We'll have the links for all of these in the description afterwards.
Yeah. One promo thing that we're doing, because we're so close to 5K, we actually had a backer right when we went on. Now I think we're like $3 away from 5K or something. For anyone that backs before we hit that, we are going to give them a free print. And I screen shared this print here. This is by Sim. If you guys are familiar with Simon Potier, he did this
and
awesome.
Who isn't?
Yeah, of course. This awesome print for us for Magicop. So you guys are going to get this for free if you are the next backer that brings us and puts us over 5K. So yeah, and then what that unlocks is that unlocks these bookmarks. So we're having 2 bookmarks. It was our 5K stretch goal. One each side is for one character. Brandon did the art for that, and we had them colored just recently. So those are going to get unlocked really soon. Awesome. Really excited about that.
Oh, that is awesome. I like the shower of chicken legs.
Yeah, he's O'Hara's like our gentle giant. He's half leprechaun, half giant. And in every scene that you see him in, if he's not in action, he's always going to be snacking on something. Just a little personality trope I gave him. Yeah, he's real funny. And then you have Helly, who's our sexy, flirty witch, who actually uses a lot of magic in the book, and she goes undercover as a prostitute. She's been working this big case for a long time, trying to nab Madam Sith, who's like this Gorgon chick who you saw on the page there, jumping out of the water. She's the head of the prostitution ring.
Can I get a blockhead of her?
Blockhead of her?
Awesome.
Oh, that would be great. We'll see if we
You'd
can
have
work
to
on that
do
for
a
you.
little change with the blocky body style, but I think you could make it work.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on that. That'd be great.
Blocky implants.
We're like what's the Laura Croft from Tomb Raider,
Could you
PlayStation
imagine
1?
putting that together, like folding the little pyramid shapes?
We recently went through this convention. It was like a horror pop-up convention here in Chicago, and we had just gotten the Blockheads guys, and we have like we also, our company, we have a print shop too. So we printed out the Blockhead, it doubled its size, and it was like this big. We put it on our table. It was so cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, real fun.
Wow, that is cool. Yeah. I mean, with that, I guess you could really print that out whatever size you want, right?
Yeah.
We were gonna do a life size
Stand in.
Yeah, stand-in suit. Yeah.
That's a hell of a printer you must have.
Yeah, it's like one of those giant like banner printers.
Yeah.
Walk around the streets of Chicago with it.
Yeah.
Get tackled.
Robot suit.
All right, yeah, cool, awesome. So, Mark, I think we'll jump back over to you while we have you, buddy.
Yeah.
We were rolling along talking about characters. So, Seadog, I'm interested to know. We have a kind of an aquatic canine.
Yeah, so he was just I don't want to give too much away, but he was a normal puppy until his owner took him fishing, and his owner he thought he caught something, and what he reeled in was this enchanted anchor medallion. So when he put it around his dog's neck, his dog became Seadog, champion of the sea.
Well, that's a very that's a quicker and much more simplified explanation than I was expecting.
He's a dog that
there's more that goes into the. What's that?
I say he's the dog that every sailor wants on their ship.
Yeah.
Cool. And can you tell us about the guys from Codename Killswitch?
Sure. The leader, Soldier 7, is part of a super soldier program. A lot of the characters are sort of based off other characters. Yeah. But Rebel, kind of our Harley Quinn character, she was a washout from the super soldier program. Her power is she has a rebel yell.
Nice.
There's a Crotch Rocket who seems to be a fan favorite. The artist Clint, he says creating Crotch Rocket was the crowning achievement of his career.
I can see that.
He's from the he's from the future. He has a futuristic sky cycle that can teleport out of a wormhole whenever he needs it. There's Neon. She's the young meta that's abducted. Then we have Stormborn, who's our kind of our Conan stand-in. He's from another planet. And finally, we have Tundra. He's the brains of the team, who just so happens to be a giant living mountain.
Which is not usually the brains of the team.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool, very cool. And what kind of challenges will this team be facing? Can you tell us about your villains?
Sure. So there's the villain Shikari. He leads a team of superhuman traffickers, and they abduct metas and they sell them on the black market.
Especially particularly sexy ones.
Yeah. just a coincidence. But yeah, that's who they'll be going up against.
What can you tell us about your tiers?
Sure. So the basic tier, the Chihuahua, is the book signed by me. The second tier is $40, and that's 2 copies of the book. $50, you get the book and an Ashcan preview of Volume 2, plus a 7 trading card set. We're actually running a Comicsgate contest right now to find our trading card artist. John and I ran a talent search contest for Graveyard Shift Book 2, and that worked out so well. I want to incorporate something like that into this campaign.
Oh, cool. So
people have until November 7th to send me their samples using the hashtag Seadog contest. So after the $50 tier, there is the $75 Malin Militia tier. That's our featured tier. That is Volume 1.
Oh, that's awesome.
Volume 2 Ashcan, the trading card set, and John Malin variant cover.
Now I have to get that one.
Very popular. After that, our $100 tier, I believe it's the German Shepherd. That is all of the above plus a head sketch from Clint Holinsky. And then finally, there's the Dogs of War tier, $250. That's everything: the Malin variant, the trading cards, the head sketch from Clint, plus a Seadog hockey jersey.
Oh, very cool.
Awesome.
That's cool.
I gotta know about the hockey jersey now.
So
yeah, I'm looking into it. I'm trying to see if I can get everyone who backs that tier, get it customized with whatever name and number within reason that they want.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is cool. Do you have I'm assuming you've already looked into that as
Yes.
far as yeah.
Yep.
That's very cool.
Yeah, it's something I've wanted to do
cool.
for go ahead.
I'm sorry. Oh, I was just saying I like how you're putting, fun stuff into the different tiers and stuff that like relates to your campaign, and you're using the Malin Militia thing. That's awesome that you're able to do that. It's going to bring a lot of more people in there, I think, because especially CG people, they see that and they're going to be like, oh, dude, hashtag Malin Militia. They're going to jump on that. It's really, really clever.
Yeah. Well, I knew how successful we were with Graveyard Shift, and this would be the first campaign that had my name on it instead of John. So I wanted to bring John in here just to cover my bet.
Cheating a little bit, don't you think?
I'll take every advantage I can get.
Well, yeah, why not? John's a popular fellow.
Yeah. Good friend too.
So will the cards be like a stretch goal or?
No, the cards are part of the $50 and up tier.
Okay.
But we have some stretch goals planned. I think there will be an additional card as a stretch goal. Right now, I'm the only person signing the books. Clint lives in Minnesota. I'm in Jersey, so we're kind of far apart. But we've set a goal that if we hit that, he'll come to Jersey and sign books. We even have a goal for my son to sign books because getting him to sign sign a bunch will drive him nuts. But he said he would do it if we hit a certain number. So
Your son?
yeah.
That's very
That
cool.
might be a lot of books for, you know, a 9-year-old to have to sign.
Yeah.
Speaking of kids books, I think Tug might have that on one of his.
What, signing? Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
your daughter's
probably.
signing all the books?
Oh yeah. She said
Oh,
she
wow.
would. That'll be an interesting endeavor to try to try to
Oh,
get together.
all of them.
That's what she said. We'll see.
Jesus.
Yeah.
How old is she?
She is 6. She just turned 6.
Oh, wow.
Yep. Yeah, she loves this idea though. I mean, it's you know, I mean, people back the book, I think, because they like her more than anything. So
Cool. Yeah, so check out Seadog and Codename Killswitch, book 1. James Hayes has the link for that in the chat somewhere. And yeah, of course, all the links for these will be in the description afterwards. And yeah, speaking of Tug, you're closing out here shortly, correct?
yep, closing out at the end of this month. Yep, finally. It's about time, man. It's about time. It's like it's been going on for a month. Oh, wait, it's been going on for 6. No, it's been going on since April, however long that is. It's been a long time, man.
That's awesome.
So what's new?
We're just we're trying to find our footing at the end, see exactly what's there. You know, we started out with just our initial story and the ash can, and we added a 10-page Dino Island, basically action oriented to it. And then as a thank you, when we hit our 6 figures, we added 6 more pages for another story to it. So we've just been trying to organize that, and I learned a lot about crowdfunding during all this time. I learned about the insanity of other people, and also a few things about crowdfunding.
Yeah, but mainly the former.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting. Well, interestingly, one helps the other. It's very strange. It's a very strange dichotomy. It points out everything that we've been saying about needing a change.
Yeah, and strangely enough, we might need another.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's there are a lot of good creators out there. New people popping up all the time. People I have the fortune to interact with. I've been doing a little bit more promotion lately. I stopped promoting for a long time, and I don't know. I'm excited about a lot of stuff now. It's easy to let people get distracted, so you got to keep them on target too. Make sure that people understand that for any distraction, you have 30 campaigns out there that are awesome, and they all need your help.
Right. Yeah, that's for sure. There's been a lot popping up. Real quick in the chat, Phil, Adam's wife has a question for you. She asks, what are you doing later?
Tonight?
I believe so.
I'm free. I got some I have some of those fruity Tootsie Rolls left over from Halloween if she wants to hang out.
Well, there you go. Adam, if you want to pass that on to your wife, as strange as that sounds.
Adam could watch the little one. Go out and see the Joker and not watch the movie.
I gotta say, that all of the projects we have on tonight are all family oriented. Like, we have the 2 brothers that are working on one together, and then we've got the 2 dads with their kids. I mean, where else can you have that, really?
Yeah, for sure. And I've, we have like Sean Davis working on a project with his kid, and it seems to be becoming more and more common, and that's awesome.
Yeah, my son, he's seen me all his life just working on books, so he wanted to get in on the act. I'm more than happy to work with him.
Is he a comic reader?
He is. He's into the books, Dogman. A lot of the YouTubers have their own books now. So he's into all that stuff. We went to a Comic-Con that we were guests at last 2 weekends ago, and all the guests were YouTubers, and most of them have their own books. So
such a bizarre world, man.
Yeah.
It works though. I mean, see, that shows you the power of. I mean, it took me a little while to figure out. Like we have the perfect marketing vessel. People get to know us. They know us every single day. You know, so you have an intimacy that the industry. I mean, when many industry professionals, when people got to know them every day, it didn't go well. But YouTubers, yeah, you know, that's how people find you. They get to know you that way.
Yeah, for sure. That's just an odd dynamic in this particular movement that you don't really have in many others. Is just, I mean, like the personal connection you get with these creators. It's awesome.
Yeah, that's sort of like I've been doing interviews on my channel with smaller creators that are doing coming up. I did last week Pillow Man and Blanket Boy, and that is another father-son team doing a book. I believe his kid's like 12 now. Came up with that IP with him, and I always tell my guests that come on, if you're gonna do this and you're gonna promote through on YouTube and you're part of Comicsgate, you got to be comfortable, coming on to streams, because you're not only selling your book, you're selling yourself to everybody.
Yeah, you either got to be good at that, or I tell you before you market a book, man, get out there and play it on the mic first.
Yeah, definitely take a speech class.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to make a fool of yourself, make a fool of yourself first, and then people get used to that, and they're like, "Hey, that guy's pretty funny."
Yeah, you can't be take yourself too seriously. Like I come from a competitive fighting game background where I would stream at tournaments all the time and do commentary. You got to be able to speak to people and not stir around your words, and chat's going to make fun of you all the time if you do that, and you got to be able to take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I never understood taking the chat seriously. I mean,
people on Twitch still take the chat seriously. You'd think the times, especially around video games and stuff like that, people would know what's going on.
I love it. I love the chat. Like the ones, some people don't like you, and that's fine. Like as long as they're not just absolutely insane. We get a few insane ones every now and then, but as long as they're not absolutely insane, it actually can be. I encourage trolling as long as they're funny. I'm down with the funny trolls.
Yeah, man, for sure. And speaking of which, we do not have the fudge in the chat tonight. That's upsetting me a little bit.
Wow,
man, you better check every alley out there. You never know where he's passed out. He's got a nice place to sleep. Poor Fudge. We'll see you next time.
Yeah, I mean, he must have been. Maybe he finally got the hint. Fudge is forbidden.
Yeah, maybe he got life deleted.
Oh, that sounds harsh.
Hail Vinny.
Hail Vinny. Vinny stopping by. What's up, brother?
The winner of the first drawn and backhold.
Absolutely. Tug, did you catch any of that?
I did. I caught part of it live and part of it on replay. It was awesome. Always like the War Campaign products. I think they do a good job.
I got a question for Mark, because
Sure.
you've done the big comic scene, right? And like now you're doing the indie and you're doing it with your kids. Do you find it like more refreshing to get like your kids' point of view versus when you were working in the big industry and you had to do what they wanted you to do? Like you kind of quality time with him and that, and like just hearing what he has to say and what he's putting out.
Yeah, I mean, when we first decided to work together, he was 4. We really didn't decide to work together. I was like, we're making a book because we were out having dinner and we were having pizza, and he was like, oh, I know where pizza comes from. It's simple. You take a slice of pepperoni and you plant it in the ground and a pizza tree grows. And I was like, that's brilliant. We're making a book. And he got it took us a few years to finally get it out, but working with him, it was so refreshing. It compared to working with editors who would 1 minute greenlight something, we would finish the book and then we would have to do a rewrite because higher up decided, no, you can no longer use that character. So with working with my son and working for ourselves, we could do pretty much whatever we want. Incorporate any crazy idea we have. If we want to make a puppy a superhero, we make him a superhero. If we want to plant a slice of pepperoni and have an evil pizza tree grow from it and terrorize a city, that's what we're going to do. We'll make it work.
So do you have more planned after this one?
For Seadog and Codename Killswitch? Yeah.
Your son.
Oh yeah, we have a whole plate of books in the work. Some are actually already being drawn.
That's awesome. Like these kids are the ones that are going to be the ones buying the comics later on. And so introducing them early, you're introducing customers as well, you know?
Yeah,
and
no.
Your friends involved and you know.
Yeah, he took our first book to his class and he read Pizza Tree to them, and we just so happened to have like a signing the next day, and the whole class showed up.
That's awesome.
So it was awesome, yeah.
Yeah, and I was telling Sean from Pillman and Blanket Boy this also. You know, they're starting so young in this collaborative process. It's going to be amazing to see what they're doing like 5, 10, 15 years from now. And if they stick to it, and if you guys are sticking with the characters and how those characters change, it's going to that's really exciting what's going on there.
Yeah, they're all our kids are getting set up for a pretty cool career if they want it.
Right.
My son, he's 9, but he seems like he's real passionate about it. At school, they were talking about what they wanted to be when they grow up, and he came home and he was like all pissed off, and he was like, "Don't they know I'm already an author?"
Yeah, I think that'll be a fun one too.
Yeah,
to, like remind my kid when she's 6. It doesn't. This is the norm. I would have killed, man, for this kind of stuff.
I know.
Well, one of the things we as adults do, especially with kids, is we, as they get older, we suppress their imagination. And I think what you guys are doing is encouraging it and encouraging them to find their imagination and their voice in that imagination.
Yeah,
that's why we have so many remakes now and not enough really cool original movies.
Yeah, I mean, actually, no, we have great movies like Terminator 6. That was a great movie. I don't know what you're talking about. In fact, that video I made that was 13 minutes long for tomorrow, yeah, it's all about praise. I love that movie.
That's why it'll get so many views, because it's all about praise, right?
Yes, the truth that I'm talking about in that, it's totally, why it's bombing around the globe. Yeah, because it's good. They don't need us anymore. They figured it out. I'm actually glad the industry, it really kicked me in the teeth for a while, like seeing the industry I love, it wasn't my livelihood or anything. It's just an industry I freaking have been addicted to since I was 3. So seeing it go crazy, and then finding out, I don't know. I think it's a real shocker to find out I guess not necessarily the professionalism of independence, but the tolerance of companies toward some of this stuff that happens. And I don't know, though, that led to a good place, because like you were mentioning, John, I wouldn't have. It was so shocking, like to get John's big thing that introduced him. He said, everybody's invited to buy this cable book. It was insane to think back. Like that was his big introduction to folks. And it was so bizarre because people were so hateful associated with Marvel that him just being like, yeah, hey, anybody's welcome to come over here and talk about this book, and all of you are welcome to buy it. I want you all here. It's so bizarre.
Yeah. Do you mean just the idea that everybody's welcome to buy something?
Yeah. I mean,
you're not going to hear this wasn't made for you.
Yeah.
Right.
That is weird, to think that we had gotten to that point. That's why I'm glad that there's there's a movement of independence. And again, I know people get distracted sometimes by drama this or drama that, but that's because people are independent. You know, you're your own personal, you know, your flagship out there. I mean, you are your own continent, and you may interact with other people, but you know, that I think there's a beauty to that too. Being able to do your own thing, being able to actually succeed, and at some of the levels that, I mean, you know, there wasn't an industry that for myself coming in as an independent. There was no industry before where I could have made a 6-figure deal and, you know, brought on to great talents with me, but still, you know, unknowns. When people are like, who is Peter Gilmore and who is Kyung Lee? I mean, there was nothing there before, but now you can do that, and you could probably do it regularly as long as you figure out how to maintain that audience and, you know, stay professional, stay true to what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, and you can only do that here. Like before, maybe like in the late '80s with Morrison on Arkham Asylum, and that was after everything was done, right? That was based on sales, and still, guys in CG are making more than that, you know.
Well, yeah, and that's one of the really cool things about the whole Comicscape movement is, I mean, look how much freaking talent has emerged that you probably never would have even heard of otherwise.
Yeah, right.
Just a ridiculous amount.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's good training for, you know, promotion and marketing too. Like if it wasn't for Comicsgate and the community and all the friends and creators that we meet giving you tips, and you know, I've learned a bunch from people I never would have met if it wasn't for all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the other aspect. I mean, yeah, like I've met so many people, like so many cool people. All the, you know, the BS and the drama aside, like, you know, I'd say it's all worth it for just, you know, the cool people that I know now. You know, the network that we have, it's amazing. All brought to you by SJW Bullshit.
That's very true.
So of the two Zaid brothers here, the Diaz brothers, who's older?
I am.
Yes.
Did your parents encourage the your imagination and like art, or were they like?
So our parents are super cool with anything that we want to do that's going to be constructive and productive for the betterment of our futures, of course.
Yeah.
And, you know, like so many years ago, you know, I was in medical school and they wanted me to do that, and that was going to be an awesome thing. And then, you know, I decided that wasn't for me. And, you know, as difficult as it was for them to be like, okay, you know, you can be a graphic artist and stuff, but it's just, you know, you got to be able to live your life and enjoy your life, but, you know, still be able to do something that's going to provide you with a comfortable means of living. And so as long as you're just putting your 100% into whatever we're doing, you know, they're totally cool with whatever. But, you know, there's never tons of, you know, we didn't get a ton of pressure to, you know, specifically do anything or stifle creativity or anything like that. It's just be who you're going to be and, you know, do what you're going to do. And because of that,
our dad is a really creative person. He's when we were growing up, he'd always tell us stories. You know, when he was young, he would draw and come up with characters and stuff like that. And I think that's where I got that. My mom was always a huge advocate for imagination. Both of them were. And, you know, she always brings up to me, you know, when I show her something new on the comic, and she's like, do you remember when you were a kid and you asked me what imagination was? And she's like, and apparently I told her I didn't think I had an imagination. She's like, oh, look at what you're doing now. And I'm like, yeah, that's really cool to see how encouraging they were for that, because I've always been coming up with characters, and a lot of our characters we created back in the back seats driving somewhere on a weekend in our parents' car.
My daughter tells me she doesn't want to grow up because she's afraid of losing her imagination.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Gotta instill that stuff.
Ever look at the community of adults over here that are just constantly creating awesome stuff?
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, just because you get old doesn't mean you have to grow up.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, so always good imagination.
Yeah,
In
for
fact,
sure.
our next project that's coming out next year, that's actually previewing in CG Jumpstart, is a character that Brandon and I came up with when we were younger and did a comic like 7 years ago about, but we're bringing him back. So,
Did you want to tell us a little bit about that, or not just yet?
I mean, it's called The Silhouette, and he's like this vigilante based in Chicago. He's kind of like a spectral vigilante. We're going to be on Arch City Comics channel on Tuesday to talk all about it on his little in between the panels, talking about CG Jumpstart. So we'll be over there talking about it.
Very cool. Alrighty. Well, you guys want to do one more pitch for each of these campaigns, and we'll wrap things up.
Sure.
Cool. So we'll start off with Magic Cop.
Yeah, Magic Cop. So this is our mashup between Miami Vice and Halloween Town. Totally retro 80s style. These detectives, one's a wizard, one's a wolfman, and they're hunting down the murderer of a mermaid prostitute. There's a lot of twists and turns here. The actual bad guy is this giant, or he's not giant, but he's this big crime boss. He's this skeleton man, and he's trafficking mermaids into the city. So check it out. We're really close to 5K. We have like $6 left to get to five. Or what is that?
We have
$4 left. Yeah, and then we also have 4 more backers to get to 100 backers. So after we unlock that those bookmarks, when we get to 100 backers, we're unlocking a really cool postcard that is coming from the city of Ambrosia, and we're going to send them out to everybody.
$4.
Yeah, they could have added on stickers, and they would have got it.
Yeah.
Remember, guys, there's an add-on section in Indiegogo. Check that out before you check out.
I remember some time ago there was talk of a possible sunglasses stretch goal. Is that still being discussed?
Yeah, that's still up there. I think the next one after the 100 backers, I think it's the pins. We might switch stuff around though, depending on what people really want.
Twitter poll.
Yeah, we could definitely do it.
Cool, guys.
I also have a Patreon if people like that.
What's that, Lola?
I said I just want that bucket of the witch.
Yeah, well, remind me about that. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah, me too.
Cool. Alrighty, Mark. You want to give us the skinny on Seadog and Codename Killswitch one more time before we go?
Sure. Yeah. Seadog and Codename Killswitch. It's all the best of 90s comics from an award-winning father and son writing team. We have an awesome artist who's actually worked on some of those great 90s books, Clint Helinski. He got his start actually on Youngblood. Rob Liefeld gave him his first job. It's about government super team, Killswitch, trying to recruit the world's greatest hero, Seadog, to stop superhuman traffickers. It's a lot of over-the-top action, beautiful art, bright colors, everything I love about comics.
Beautiful. Yeah, it does. It is a fine-looking book.
Thank you.
Who has the echo? I can hear somebody echoing.
Yeah.
Is there an echo? Is it me?
One of the, I can't tell who. I muted out, so I'm just making sure it wasn't me. That's why I asked. I know it's somebody else. I always check myself first. Yeah, I could hear an echo there.
Is that better?
Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Yeah.
Cool. And then Tug, would you like to address the 3 people who have not yet bought Case of the Littlest Umbrella?
Woo, 3 people. Yeah, actually, if you want to get in on the project, definitely do so. Case of the Littlest Umbrella, it is all ages meaning for everyone, not just for kids. I want to make sure that I stress that. The first story in there is a Lovecraftian tale. You know, again, we're talking about a kid's way of looking at the madness and mayhem to that. You know, think an old pulp story. Only think again, everybody being able to enjoy it. We've added 2 stories to that as well. We have a 10-page edition called Dino Island. A lot of people treat 10 pages like throwaway. We treated it like it would be fun. So, and then we have a 6-page story. It comes from story time as well. We also have a ash can to add to that. If you don't know anything about the stuff that went on with Comicscape, it's awesome. You could read it as an outsider and never understand it as in joke. But if you read it as somebody that knows what it is, you'll find it to be very entertaining. It's still appropriate for anybody, but yeah. When you have Ren Ice and all kinds of other stuff, you'll have fun with it. But we are open until the end of this month. We close at 11:59 on the last day. So bam, once there, then hopefully we'll have everything wrapped up. We would have wrapped up sooner actually, but Kyung Lee had his own book. He had to take care of everything. That's why I set it out so far. I think I'll start earlier or do something. I'm not sure exactly. The time frame makes me nervous. My part's easy. I'm through. So I think having more of it, I learned a lot about it though. But anyway, like I said, if you want to back it, definitely do. You're appreciated for doing so. Check it out. Even if you don't want to back it, you're still appreciated.
Awesome. Yeah. And if anybody would like to back these but cannot, and you still want to help out, just share the hell out of them on social media. That would be very much appreciated. But yeah, thanks everybody for coming today. I know we're cutting it off a little bit short, but appreciate the chat. Thank you all for coming out. You guys want to tell us where we can find you on Twitter? Let's start with these DIAZ brothers.
Yeah, sure. You could find us at Zade Comics on Twitter, or my personal one is right down there by my name at GGA Phil Pops. We also have a YouTube channel that we do invite smaller creators on from Comicsgate to talk about their Indiegogo campaigns. Do that every Wednesday. You just look up the YouTube channel at Zade Comics.
Yep, and you can find me on Twitter at Zade Ninja. Or Instagram. I post art and stuff up there all the time, so you could go check those out. And make sure you guys check out Magic Cop, or if you'd like and you like looking at sexy ladies, I do have a Patreon, so I do erotic painting portraits, so if you want to check that out too.
It's a family show. Goddamn.
They're tasteful unless you get the highest tier, then they're not tasteful.
They're totally disgusting.
As long as they don't get their parents' credit card, we should be okay here. Cool. Mark, how can we find you, bud?
On Twitter, I'm at Coney Waves, Koni Waves, name of my first comic book. I have a YouTube channel that I just started up. It's under my name, Mark Poulton. But I'm also on my son's YouTube channel at Chase Hunter TV. He has a bigger audience than me, so go follow him.
Isn't that how it usually goes?
Yeah.
Cool. Tug, how can we find you? Those of us who don't know.
Just go where all the SJWs complain, and you'll find me something in the middle. So that's about it.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Everybody have a great night, and we will catch you on the next one.
Yeah. See you, everyone.
Bye.
Thanks for having me.